Hello, 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 hello. Hi all, and welcome to another edition of live trading, key trading levels and trading setups for popular market by TraderCast. My name is Phil. I'll be your presenter today. For those of you who've seen this before, there'll be a very quick introduction and then I'll go into a live market and show you a few things that I'm looking at, or we'll talk about some of my open positions and the reasons why I decided to trade them and so on. A little bit about me, if you haven't seen this before. This is me. If you're looking for a community of traders, check out TraderCast. If you're looking for education, if you're brand new, hopefully I won't confuse you with what I'm doing here today, because this is aimed to be very simple approach to trading, trend following, price action, very basic price action, no complicated indicators. Check out my trading skills. Some of our courses are completely free. Sign up, see what we teach and how we teach, and if you like that and if you need to know more, let me know. Over the past 10 years, I had the privilege of speaking in front of various different industry events, and I've presented to thousands of different people, and I taught some people how to trade. So some of them were brand new and they needed introduction to trading, beginner's guide to trading, and some of them were experienced or intermediate and they needed help with a specific area of their trading. Now, we never stop learning, so I keep learning every single day, even now. But big disclaimer before we start talking about some live trades: I do not have the indication of your personal investment and trading objectives. Therefore, anything I say here should not be considered to be investment advice. This is basically my opinion and my personal experience. I'm trying to provide you with a practical application.
Seen US Treasury prices rising to session highs. US 10-year yield drops down to 2.01%.
Sorry, I have my news feeds on as well. I'll turn them down if they're
US equity futures trading down at session lows following comments from the US Secretary of State Blinken saying they've not seen any pullback of Russian forces from the Ukrainian border.
What I feel that a novice trader should be able to do after investing some time and practicing what they learn in their demo account. So this is very basic approach to trading. There is no complicated indicators, there are no complicated strategies. This is very basic price action, trend following, very simple trigger to enter, confirmation, and so on. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with this. This is enough about me and what we do here. This is aimed for the people who are brand new. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. I will probably stop with these slides at some point. But my current open positions. So I was long Nasdaq 100. For those of you who watched yesterday's session, I've decided to close half at 14,477. I think that happened throughout the session, and then I decided to close another half, or it wasn't really a half. I had 5 contracts, so I closed 3 and then 2, so it wasn't equal half, but one part of the trade was closed and then the second part of the trade was closed. Let me be that precise. At 14,650, I got out of that earlier on. Didn't really feel comfortable with it because of some economic data releases which were coming out today, and we'll talk about some of them a little bit later, and how that might impact, or how that impacted, because they're out already, US dollar and US equities in general. So we're seeing a bit of a pullback. Now, I'm still long FTSE from 75.05. Happy with that trade. Stop loss is at the right level. Keeping it open. Really happy with that trade. I was long gold yesterday at 1850 and I got stopped out at 47.50. So this is my second entry in gold. I got stopped out the day before, so I got stopped out on this one again, and I got in again. I got in again. Anyway, I was long. I got filled long WTI crude at 89.50, and if you remember, we'll talk about this in more minutes, in a little bit more time. we were looking at 90 area, 90.50 or thereabout for a pullback to WTI crude and a fill. I was actually filled at 89.50, and we'll talk about different pricing and different contracts. I'll mention that if that's kind of confusing for you, because you might see different prices with different brokers and different products that you trade. So I'm long WTI crude, really happy with that, looking for a spike towards possibly 95. I'm long gold again from 1850. From 1850, I'm long gold at the moment. Let me see. I think that's in the money. Yeah, it's in the money at the moment. So happy with that. I'm also long sterling dollar from 134.92, and those of you who watched yesterday's session, you know we were talking about a setup that could possibly occur at 135. I'll go into that chart in a few more minutes. I'll keep this very short. Yesterday's session was quite long, so this will be a shorter session, straight to the point. And I am also long dollar card from 127. Okay, and that's a losing trade at the moment. My dollar card is losing trade at the moment, and this was the reason for that trade was because we received Canadian consumer price index data, and that came in quite high, I believe 3.8%. So inflation is creeping up. So Canadian dollar strengthened, and also we are seeing a rally in crude oil. So also Canadian oil is strengthening because of that. Canadian dollar is strengthening because of that. U.S. retail sales came in. Sorry, U.S. retail sales were 3.8. Canadian consumer price index 4.8, I believe. No, 5.1. 5.1. Sorry, 5.1 versus 4.8. So much higher. Too many numbers are coming up. Too many numbers are coming up for me to kind of remember all of them very, very quickly. But that's where we are. So that's where we are. Let me now talk to you about where I am with my trades and the reasons why I did them. And then I'll also tell you about what I'm paying attention to going forward today. So the first thing is, why did I close that Nasdaq when I did? So let me just show you that trade. So that trade was long, quite happy. Remember, I took partial profits, and then throughout the trading day, we started seeing something.
We're just under
like
3 minutes, just over
here.
3 minutes away from the top of the hour. Sorry, we may hear from the US Commerce Secretary Raimondo. She's given a live interview with Punch Bowl News. We'll be speaking about American innovation.
Apologies. So some of you know that this is. Oh, let me see. Am I live on as well? I should be. No, it doesn't seem to be. Live here. Yeah, so I should be live here as well. Apologies, guys. Let me just check. Hey Robert, just sent you the message. I don't know if you can see this or not, but apologies, guys. Oh, I am. I don't know why wasn't this showing. I'm on. Okay. Apologies, guys. Apologies. I just thought maybe I didn't go through. I know it's going through here, which is all fine. Anyway, so the reason why I decided to get out of this position yesterday, we saw this consolidation, and then eventually there was a breakout. There was a little bit of a pause here. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you, Robert. Thanks. But from the kind of price action extension, you would take this widest point of this sideways consolidation, which is known as the bull flag, so 1, 2, 3 touches, and then extend that to the upside at the point of breakout, or maybe even a retest, either way, so it doesn't really matter, but it's pointing to this zone here. So when the price eventually did that and started reversing, and then we got all of this here, this is a 15-minute
again, it's an ECB commentary here. It doesn't give a clear sources of the comments,
to...
just says ECB interest rate in Q4 would make sense. It says ECB looks
I decided to get out
and
get out of that position. So what I'm actually looking at the moment is this corrective pullback here, and I'm paying attention to that.
Also
just
reports
to see.
the EU Council are to hold an informal meeting to discuss Ukraine today, and the effective Fed funds rate unchanged, spot 0.8%.
Just paying attention to this to see if we see a little bit more to the downside, but I'll explain more in Dow Jones how this might play out and how I might react to that. So I'm out of this trade, so closed. I'm looking for a new setup, and I'll decide what to do. Going forward, very quickly from Dow Jones, this is where we are. I don't have this trade open, but I'm getting ready to get into
it looks
this
like
trade.
these ECB comments are coming from an analyst, the head of fixed income at Aegon. I will confirm these headlines just being pushed around on their own at the moment without the source.
I'm getting into this trade here. I would like to see a couple of things happen. So if we see a further selling pressure, loss of these lows, and a dip lower, possibly a retest from underneath, like so, then I would be looking to possibly short sell if I get a confirmation for an extension to the downside. Initially to these areas down here towards 34,600. Loss of that level would open the way for continuous selling pressure towards 34,400, 34,380, and so on. I also wouldn't be surprised to see the reaction to the upside, and that's why I have this shaded area here. If we see a rally from here and a breakout above here, a retest from above, then I would be looking to buy above 35,800. Sorry, 35,100 for another leg higher towards 35,350, 35,400, i.e. this area up here would then become my take profit. So above and a retest. Rally and the rejection, I could look short. So sorry if I'm confusing you, but I'm currently this can play in a couple of different ways, and that's why I'm keeping my options open, and all of these trades will likely be triggered as an intraday, because today, if you're not really familiar, we really have a very important economic data release. We have FOMC minutes. So that comes in my evening time, or it's the afternoon time in US, and that basically tells us how the FOMC, i.e. Federal Reserve, voting members, decided to vote, and that will telegraph to us what they might want to do going forward with the interest rates. And I just told you that earlier on we got that retail sales, and that number came in quite high. US retail sales month on month 3.8, and the forecast was for 2. So that's further adding fuel to fire, potentially indicating that Federal Reserve will have to be more hawkish and hike rates very quickly going forward. Okay, so that's a couple of things that we talked about, Nasdaq and Dow Jones. Now let me show you what I did with FTSE. So let's start with that. So I'll do FTSE, and then I'll do crude oil, and then I'll do gold, and then cable and dollar CAD, and then we can take it from there. Now this is FTSE 100 or UK 100. This appears to be moving higher. It's an uptrending market, but now we are seeing a little bit of a consolidation here. This is the retracement to 61.8 fib. Okay, so I'm going to delete this, and we have this falling resistance trend line. I'm long from down here. Okay, so what I'm actually paying attention to is I would like to see if these levels here hold, and the reason for that is that would be a retracement to fib and a previous low, previous high, previous low, previous low, previous low. So therefore there is this a support down here. Otherwise, if that gives, then the next level of interest comes down here towards these clusters of the highs at 75.40. So I'm long. I'm keeping this
We're
long.
5 minutes away from US industrial production for January.
The way I'm seeing this is I'm seeing this as a profit-taking exercise. So anybody who was long, they are looking to take partial profits. But if that doesn't happen, I'll get out of this trade very, very quickly. So that's where I am with FTSE 100. Let me show you that trade, and then we can move on to something else. So FTSE cash. Okay, so there is my FTSE trade here. I got in at 75.05. You know, I was long before as well, and that position was closed. The ultimate take profit was up here towards 76.50. I decided not to take partial profits, but instead what I did is I moved my stop loss higher. So this is where my stop is. So that cluster of the highs. If you, do you remember? I was just showing you this early on in a different time frame. So if I show you this, you'll see the reasons why. So there is this cluster of the highs. I want my stop loss there, and then I have a kind of mental stop at these lows. I'll see what happens here. If we start bouncing off here, I'll keep it open. If we see the loss of this, I might cut this position quickly, or I might move my stop loss higher just to lock in some more profits on this trade. But I'm keeping it open. I'm keeping it open for the time being. Happy with it. I'm happy with this trade, keeping it open. Now, the other thing that we should talk about is crude oil. And we talked about this yesterday and day before yesterday. Today, we might see a bit of a volatility in crude, but here we go. This is the very same analysis that we did before. And I'll repeat it because maybe some of you haven't seen it, or some of you probably haven't seen it. But I'll try and show you the logic why I decided to get in. Okay, so this is an uptrending market. Low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So we are seeing this as a corrective retracement rally, corrective retracement rally, corrective retracement against the overall prevailing trend. So in this market, bulls are more dominant. People who are greedy are more dominant. They tend to buy low and look to cash in at the higher price, or they're either buying the breakout of the resistance or they're buying a pullback to support. That's what they
Commentary
do.
From the Bank of America.
Okay.
CEO
They think the
Brian
price
Moynihan
will
says
move
consumer
on
spending
higher.
levels continue to be
Now,
very strong.
from the shorter term point of view, we had this consolidation here. So this was resistance, 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 broken. Once that resistance is broken and retested, it becomes support. So we have rising support trend line. We have previous resistance, now newly found support, and then we have a cluster of these highs here. So this is the horizontal, and in addition to all of that, if I draw a fib retracement from here to here, from full to full, yeah, here we go, it comes to about 61.8 fib retracement as well, around that zone as well. So on this chart you can see that this is pointing to 90.50, okay. This is the futures contract, WTI futures contract. And for those of you who haven't traded oil, and if you're trading futures, you know the futures contracts are rolling over, and then the price changes, and the further you go in the future, the contracts could be more expensive or cheaper depending on if oil is in contango or backwardation. I don't want to bore you with this stuff anyway, but that was the level, that was the reason why I decided to trade. And I was looking for a pullback and then rally into this zone up here. Okay, so what I've done is I had my pending order, and I decided to get on board here. Now, what you'll see on my chart is you will see that I got filled at a better price. So the better price is because I'm trading different product. I'm trading different market than the one that I've shown you. The one that I've shown you is futures, okay? And this is a CFD contract. And as such, I get slightly different price. So, so there is that trend here. There is that resistance here. This is the area of interest. And this is where I got filled. So if I show you this in an hourly, you'll see selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure, and then boom, off it goes. So I got filled at 89.50, 89.50. This is where I got filled, and I'm happy with this trade. Now, my stop loss, so let me show you where my stop loss. My stop loss was a little bit lower. I moved it here, and I'm gonna move it above now. So I will not move it to break even. I will move it above my entry to lock in some profits. And the ultimate take profit area for me could be towards 95, even higher, but I have a limit order up here, so 94, 94.50, 95, but this area here would be a good area for partial profit taking, about 92, 96, call it 93. So any of these areas would be good areas where I can potentially take some profit, but I'm leaving it there. I'll decide what to do. Today is also a very important day for crude oil traders, because today we get crude oil inventories in about an hour and 20 minutes, and this is US traded oil, and that inventory number will tell us how much oil was produced, how much oil was contributed to the inventories, and how much oil was consumed over the past 7 days in US. And this gives us the indication of supply and demand. So if we see a massive drawdown on inventories, that's normally perceived to be bullish for crude oil. Therefore, more people are consuming it. Companies are consuming it. They're burning oil to produce something. People are driving more. Planes are flying more, and therefore, so more demand, less supply, price goes up. So it's a very basic concept. If we see oversupply and lack of demand, that has a negative impact on the price. So that comes in about an hour and 20 minutes roughly from
We're just
now.
under 3 minutes away from US industrial production data, month on month for Jan, seen at spot 5%.
So therefore, I might look to take partial profits ahead of that number, just to protect myself and take some money off the table. But in the meantime, I'm going to put my stop loss up here towards 90.70, and I'm locking in about 124, roughly 124 points on this trade. This is my current P&L. I have 10 contracts on this trade. My stop is above my entry, locking in this, and I would like to ideally take profit up here towards 94.50, 95. So that's where I'm with the crude oil. Okay, happy with that, keeping that open. And hi Hamid, good to see you. Now, the other thing that I should be talking about is gold. So here I am with the gold again at same or similar level. I was speaking to Gold Master early on today, is another member of the community, and we were just chatting about his position in gold. But this to me looks bullish. This to me looks bullish, and this type of patterns, they really do have the tendency to
Industrial production
dip lower.
Spot 5% in January.
And then I was looking at this 1840 level as a potential additional level of entry as well. But from a very, very basic trend recognition point of view, I can draw a trend line here. So I'm ignoring the wick and the wick. I'm just using the full body of the candle here, full body of the candle, this nice bullish hammer. And that points me to this area here, 1840. So from the intraday point of view, if I see a loss of this area here and a continuous selling pressure to the downside, potentially we could dip towards this area, and there I would likely be a buyer again. And I would put my stop loss at 1830. So this would be the amount
5 seconds till data.
Off. So we have 5 seconds to data.
1 spot 4% on the month. Capacity utilization 77.6, and manufacturing production spot 2%. So industrial production beats 1 spot 4% versus spot 5 expected. Capacity utilization does rise to 77.6, but misses the but beats the 76.8, and manufacturing production in line at spot 2%.
So very little reaction.
And more from the Commerce Secretary, says she does think elements of Biden's spending plan will pass.
Okay, so that's where I'm with the gold. But I'm currently long from 1850, and I'm therefore looking for a rally breakout and a push higher. So the initial take profit would be here at 1866. Now let me show you the reason why. Okay, so for those of you who know what I've just done, this is a 61.8 fib retracement, so 50%, 61.8. And if you don't know what it is, there's a free course on mytradingskills.com, trading using Fibonacci to identify the retracement levels. So go and check it out. It's free. Just sign up and see how I teach or how that course flows. And if you like it, let me know if you need help with anything else. So that's the area of interest, 1866 as a potential take profit. Breakout above that level could open the way for a gradual move higher towards 1875, 1880 on the upside again. So that's where I am with gold. I'm keeping it open. Really happy with that trade. It is a little bit more speculative. I'm kind of in this trade sooner than what I really could be from 1840 point of view. But those of you who watched several of these sessions over the past couple of weeks and so, you probably realized I have a tendency to be bullish gold. I tend to buy gold at various different levels, and over the past couple of trading sessions I was stopped out twice on gold at 1850, so I got in again. I think it's a good level. I think it's a good level. Here we go. See this swing high here? Previous resistance broken becomes newly found support. Rising support trend line. All very, very basic. So I'm currently here. I'm up. I'm in the money on this trade. What I'll do with this trade is I will add my limit order. So my limit order is going to be at 1866, and then up here at 1875, 1878. That's where I would like to take profits. So partial profits if I can get it, and then ultimately up here. From the shorter term point of view, I will move my stop, which is currently below, to break even. Okay, so actually I'm just going to go a little bit above, and let me just change the time frame so that you can see it.
More from Raymondo speaking on
okay, so my stop is currently 2 points above where I entered. 2 points above where I entered. I entered at 1850 spot 55, and my stop is at 1852.60, 1852.50. So I'm locking in 2 points on this trade, or $2 if you want to call it, in price. So if the price does something unforeseen and goes against me, I'll walk away at least with something, and it might make up for some of the losses I had in my 2 previous gold trades. But that's where I'm with gold. Really happy with it. Really happy with it. Keeping it open again. Now, excellent. Hamid, if you have any questions, ask. Let me know. So the next thing that I want to talk about is, so this is gold, this is dollar yen, this is cable, this is euro dollar, sterling dollar. So sterling dollar, I'm out of my euro dollar trade. I didn't add to that trade again, so I'm out of that. This is my sterling dollar, and for those of you who watched past several daily broadcasts and live trading here,
Player disconnected.
You know that
Player connected.
I apologize, guys. I don't know what's going on here with my, I think the audio is going through okay. You know, I was paying attention to 135. There were some numbers which came out, like UK unemployment, all sorts of different things which are triggering volatility in sterling currency crosses. Now, Bank of England is hiking rates already, so therefore it looks like it could break out higher as well. The level I was paying attention to was at 135. Why? Rising trend line, structure of the market. If I go into a 4-hourly, there's a sideways consolidation. Look, tested and tested and tested and tested and tested and tested and tested. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attempts for the price to break to that level, and it bounced and came close and a bounce, came close and a bounce. So why wouldn't I get there again? So I did. So I decided to go at 135. Gave everybody plenty of notice with that, told you the reasons why, and now I'm hoping for a potential breakout higher. Now, there is a chance that we could see something like this. We could see flush lower, retest, and then another gradual move, and then retest of 135. That's absolutely possible. So if we see a massive US dollar breakout to the upside, US dollar strength later on in the afternoon, stocks might sell off, gold might sell off, and obviously sterling dollar will sell off as well. But so far, I think something like this is a possibility. Pullback to here, and then a gradual attempt for this area up here again. A retest of that area from above, and then another leg higher. So would I be buying right now? No. I bought at the right level. I bought when I bought. That makes sense. Would I be buying now? No. I might be looking for a breakout to possibly take some partial profits and then maybe add to my position. But at this point, it's quite speculative to get in this trade. If you missed it at 135, don't chase it now. Would I buy it again at 135? Possibly. Yeah, quite likely, if I see a nice reversal, if I see a nice confirmation to get in again. So that's where I'm with the cable. Let me show you that trade as well. I'm keeping this really simple. There was a great chat in both communities yesterday. And that kind of is leading me towards the next trade that I got in with a CAD, because we were talking about CAD Japanese yen, which I never traded, and I don't think I will. But nothing against CAD Japanese yen, just don't really understand it. So one of my trading rules in the course is that for some of you who attended the courses, you know there are 10 golden trading rules, and one of them is never trade anything you don't understand 100%. If you don't know why something moves from the fundamental point of view, you don't understand the sentiment, don't trade it, because it's quite possible that you might not be successful in doing so. Hello, Paul. How are you? Good to see you again. Hola. Sorry, I was just showing my trades here. So let me just give you the update. I know you missed this. So I'm out of Nasdaq. I'm still long FTSE. I got stopped out on that gold. I got long WTI crude. I got long on gold again. I'm long cable. And I'm also long dollar CAD. This is a losing trade at the moment, but that's where I am. So I'm talking about sterling dollar at the moment. Okay, so the sterling dollar trade, I'm really happy with this from the longer term point of view. You can see that this is where I entered, 134.92, so just below 135, and my stop loss is about 30 points below where I got in. What I'll do is I will move my stop loss now at break even. Actually, I'm gonna move it just above break even, about 7 points. I'm gonna lock in about 7 or 10 points. Let's do 10 points on this trade. I'm locking in $50, $50 on this trade. My stop loss is at 135.02. I got in at 134.92, so I have 10 points with this stop loss, but my take profit level is up here towards 136.60. Now that doesn't mean that I would be avoiding to take partial profits at 136. I would gladly take some partial profits at 136, or maybe even add at the breakout, possibly even up here, 136.25, 136.30. I would also possibly take partial profits. Definitely here, 136.40. And then ultimately 136.60. So that's where I am with the sterling dollar. Really happy with this trade, keeping it open, and brilliant, very good and brilliant trade on oil, gold in no man's land. Yes, indices a bit jerky, although I caught some nice moves in DAX yesterday. Oh, that's great. So sort of finished and don't want to give anything back. Good call on that DAX. I didn't do anything with DAX. Happy with FTSE. I can stomach FTSE, but for some reason DAX, I really need to be really certain in order to trade DAX. But really happy with this cable trade. This is really making me comfortable. Really happy with that. And if you remember, Maurizio, I don't know if he's probably not in with us today, but yeah, Maurizio is not with us today, but he was asking about CAD Japanese yen or something, and if you remember, oops. So let's see if that works. No. He was looking at CAD Japanese yen, if you remember, and we had a kind of chat about it, and I was saying, hey, I've never traded that before and I don't know for the fundamentals behind it. Then Paul jumped in and commented on some levels that he's interested in as well, or that he would be paying attention to. But I was talking to you about US dollar, Canadian dollar during yesterday's session because that's the one that I understand. I understand that one. And we were talking about the correlation with crude oil and Canadian dollar prices because Canada is an oil producing country. So basically, if the price of that commodity is spiking higher, that's normally perceived to be good, therefore bullish for the currency and so on. And then on the other hand, we have dollar cards, US dollar versus Canadian dollar, and so on. So I understand how that works. And today we got some other economic data release, which I was just trying to post in a chat, but we were talking about this earlier. Canadian consumer price index, and I believe that came in at is it 5.8 or something. Paul is also in cable at 135.75. Yes. 136 is nice level for me. 136 in cable. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for sharing. So that all kind of triggered volatility and so on. And if you remember, we looked at dollar CAD. After we looked at CAD Japanese yen, we looked at dollar CAD, and I was very convinced that this 127 level could be a good area of entry, and here is the reason why. So Canadian dollar, dollar CAD is uptrending. So low, higher low, higher low, higher highs. This is uptrending market. Then we are seeing this sideways consolidation here, which is quite a wide sideways consolidation. And that 127 level was tested before over and over and over again. So I was looking at it from the retracement point of view. So this zone here, I was looking at this zone saying this area here is definitely an area of interest for me. And I would like to see a pullback and then rally. So I did not get filled on this. I missed this bit here, but I still had my order at 127. Now, that order was triggered and the price just did that. And when this candle finished, which is a 15-minute candle here, you can see it, 15-minute candle, this became a losing trade for me. I'm still in this trade. I want to show you where my stop loss is and what I want to do with this trade. I'm keeping it open, but this is currently a losing trade for me. I would likely be looking to see an oversold bounce back, break through 127, a retest, and then a rally into this zone up here. Basically a retest of that previous support now as a newly found resistance, and I would look to get out at 127.30 or thereabout. I might even get out at break even if I can get it, but a breakout and an end of day close about 127.30 would then likely open the way for the continuation to the upside, and then a possible retest of this resistance trend line or falling resistance area, which was tested over and over again in the past. So that's the basic premise and the reason why I decided to trade. Now I'm going to show you this trade right now, and then I will actually ask you what do you think I should do. Should I keep it or should I cut it? Okay, so that's where I am with the trade at the moment. So you can see this is the 4 hourly. You can see that I was waiting for a fill. There is a fill finally here. 127. It's not a huge position. It's not a huge position, but my stop loss is down here at 126. I don't feel as confident now as I normally would be, because if I saw a flush lower and then a retracement, or a flush lower and a hammer forming, or flush lower and a bit of a buying pressure, or bullish engulfing like this, or morning star reversal like this, or something around here, I would be more confident. But at the moment, this can carry on falling lower and so on. So what I'll do is I will move my stop loss up here towards 126.50. So therefore, I'm risking about 50 points, 47, 50 points, call it 50 points on this trade, 50 points on this trade, and keeping it open for now. Now my limit order is up here at 129. My limit order is at 129. So quite greedy. I could be able to take partial profits at 128, down here 127.70, 127.35. I would be able to take many partial profits, but I'm waiting to see how this candle finishes. This candle is not finished yet. It could possibly finish like one of those candles here with like a doji, or maybe a hammer like this, and then that could possibly make me feel a little bit better. Paul is saying it's still okay at support. If 126.35 goes, that's it. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Absolutely. If we lose this, if we lose these lows, these lows here, sorry, I'm pointing to these lows here, then all bets are off. This can go lower very, very quickly. And so, ooh, there's a bit of a sell-off in Nasdaq. While I'm talking to you, things are bubbling up. So Dow is reversing. Dow is reversing. You sexy thing, you gold, you beauty. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Yes. Oh, this is so good. Oh, this is so good. I'm so happy with this. This is brilliant. This is really, really good. Really, really good. Cable pushing higher. WTI future, WTI crude is pushing higher slowly. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm really, really good with that. But I'm so happy with this. This is so good. This is really, really good. Really, really good. Now, we are coming to the end of today's broadcast very, very quickly. Fast and furious today. Fast and furious today. Guys, those of you who are watching on the outside, if you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully I'm not confusing you in any way, and this is all making sense what we are doing. So, oops, sorry, I lost my screen there for a second. So just to give you an indication of where I am again, I'm long FTSE. I'm long FTSE from 75.05. My stop loss is above my entry. I'm looking for a spike higher, break above these highs towards 76.55, but I could be taking partial profits going on. So really happy with this trade, keeping it open. Very quickly going through this now. Crude oil, this is a great trade, really, really great trade. I'm so happy with this trade. Yet again, happy the way I entered, the reasons why I entered, the way I've managed the risk, the way I'm managing risk going forward. So my stop is above my entry, locking in 123 points. I would like to see a continuation and breakthrough 93 towards 94, 94.50, possibly even 95 on the upside. So really happy with this trade, keeping this open. The other trade that we talked about very quickly is gold, and this is really oh, this is brilliant now. I'm really happy with this one. Okay, So long in from 1850. The stop is here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move my stop loss at 1856. I'm moving in my stop at 1856, locking in about 6 points on this trade. I would like to see if we get tag of this area down here. High, breakout, low, 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 low. 1870, above 1870, 1875, 1878 might come in play very quickly. Really happy with this trade, really happy. Thank you, Mr. Market. This is great. Cable, now cable is here. Cable is moving in the right direction. I'm moving my stop above. I'm locking in 32 points on this trade, letting it run. I'd like to see 136, 136.30, 40, 50, 60, and so on. Happy with that as well. Keeping it running. And the last thing that I talked about is dollar CAD, and that dollar CAD is not looking as sexy as these other trades. This is currently a losing trade. But I'm looking at potentially the reversal here. So there is a little bit of indecision. Sorry, my mouse is pointing and is giving me the kind of data here as well, but you can see that there's a little bit of indecision here with this kind of spinning bottom, almost a doji forming here. We still have about 20 minutes for the hourly candle to complete, and I would like to see the hourly candle look a little bit more bullish, therefore a wick and then a body above, something like that. But this is currently a losing trade. My stop loss is down here, okay, about 50 points below where I entered. Okay guys, it was lovely talking to you all. Hopefully you're finding this informative. I've posted sterling dollar in community already. I've posted a few other things as well. Litecoin was posted as well in the community with the chart and the levels and the analysis. Hopefully you are able to access that. Okay, nice pin bar in CAD, possibly. Yeah, absolutely. That would be great. That would be absolutely great. Guys, it was lovely talking to you all. As always, I'll be back with you tomorrow at the usual time. In the meantime, stay safe, happy trading, and I'll speak to you all soon. Stay safe. Bye for now.